So I was asked a question about Ephesians chapter 2, verse 1. Specifically, this verb phrase here, hath he quickened, which is in italics because it's supplied by the King James translators. It actually does not appear in the Greek text of this verse. So where did it come from? Well, the quick answer is it actually came from up here in verse 5. This phrase, hath quickened together, which is the Greek word esizopieo, that verb there was supplied here. That's where it comes from. But that doesn't help us a lot in English. And I guess the more full answer, before we get to the fullest answer, is that there's a lot of difference between Greek grammar and English grammar. So in English grammar, every sentence has to have two parts. It has to have a subject and a predicate, or it can't be a complete sentence. And so you can't have a verse like this without having the verb in it. But the same's not true of Greek. And so that kind of drives people a little crazy when they go to actually learn Greek if they're an English speaker. But it's just the difference between it's just simply the difference between grammar of two languages. So to help us understand this, let's go over here to the Textus Receptus. And this is chapter 2 of Ephesians, beginning at verse 1. He says, "Que mas ondas necrus tis periptomasi getes amarties." So, and you being dead in trespasses and in sins. So, see, there's no verb here that says you were quickened. We're going to find where that comes from in just a minute. En espote peripatisate que ton eona tu cosmu tutu, kata ton archonda tis exousias tu aeros, tu pneumatos tu nin energundos, and dis tis epithias. So wherein, in time past, you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. In is que mis epandas anastraphimen pote, indes epithemias tis arcos simon, piundos ta telimata tis arcos, que ton dianion, que men technaficioris os que lipi. So he says, in whom also we all had our conversation in time past in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others, or even as the rest. O de theos plusios onin elei, de atin polin agapin, aptu in agapisinimas. But God, being rich in mercy, for his great love, wherein, or wherewith he loved us, que ondas imas necrus tis periptomasi, esinazo pise, to Christo haritise sesos meni, que sinigere, que sinacatisen, endis eporonis in Christo Isu. Even when we were dead in sins, hath quickened us together with Christ. By grace are you saved, and hath raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Christ Jesus. And really could just keep going, but that gets us to where we need to get to. This is the verb right here that is supplied way back in verse 1. And you notice a lot of the same things. You were dead, you being dead in trespasses, hath he quickened. I mean, it's almost the same, almost the same. Here it's que ondas imas necrus tis periptomasi, we being dead in trespasses. All right, and you, que mas ondas necrus tis periptimasi, que tes amarties. So almost the same phrase that we find, almost the same language. And so what the King James translators did was just put this verb up there in a sense to where you can understand what he means. You were dead in trespass and sins. What did he do? Well, he quickened you. That's what he did. And he makes it blunt down here. That's exactly what he did. He quickened us together with Christ. So, again, it's just the difference between Greek grammar and, English grammar. That's all it is. And so I know a lot of temporary versions won't do that. They'll just write it like it's written, but really I think the King James translators did an excellent job of supplying those types of verbs and words and things like that to help it make sense. In fact, as you look at a page in the King James Version, you find all these words in italics, which are supplied to help it read more properly in English according to what you find in Greek. So, anyway, that's what it is. Hope that helps. Lord bless you.